week, we've been making over our wallets. Today's focus is about building wealth and leaving a legacy. Please welcome personal finance expert and host of YouTube's The Table, Anthony O'Neill. Good to have you back, Anthony.
Kelly, Ryan, thanks for having me back on. I gotta say, Ryan, I like your pants, man. I mean, mine's are high too, so I just want you to know you're hip.
Style. He knows style.
I'm just going to say that this looks like a man
You're
who's
managing
really
wealth
managing his
Hey,
wealth
listen,
well.
listen, I got to manage it well. Hopefully the future wifey can see that. So.
Okay.
Where do we start?
Well, here's the very first thing is we got to think about our future. So I want to take care of our debts. We cannot go into the future with our past holding us back. So I want to look at all your finances and eliminate all your debt.
How do you do that? How do you pay off your debt?
It sounds easy enough when you say it, but people don't know where to begin.
You know, it sounds easy, but it's really more so about intentionality, right? And so when I was getting out of my debt, about $35,000, I actually used a debt snowball method. This is when you line up all your debt from smallest to largest, no matter the interest, all right?
Okay.
So let's say you have a $5,000 credit card, $10,000 loan, and say $25,000 in a car.
Okay.
You're gonna attack this very first one while you're still making the minimum payments. And once you get done with the very first one, then you snowball that on to the next, snowball that on to the following
So
one.
start from the least amount of debt to the highest amount of
Least
debt.
amount of debt to the highest amount of debt. And you're gonna get excited.
Okay.
Really excited.
So we snowball, we excited. What do we do with the money?
I mean, once you do that, now that we've paid off everything, now we have actual, some funds. The next thing is you want to go ahead and set aside at least 3 months of your expenses. Then number two, start investing into your retirement funds, your 401ks, your IRAs, your HSAs. And then the next thing is I would say is this, get a home. One of the greatest tools you can do when it comes to building wealth is home ownership.
What about estate planning? How do we look at that?
Oh, an estate planning is simply this. Now that we've eliminated our debt and now we own our stuff, now these are called assets. And we got to have a plan for our assets, and this is an estate plan. And so think about your cars, your houses, your jewelry, your finances. But one of our greatest assets, and we was talking about this on before the show, are our kids. Do we have a plan for what we're going to do and leave behind for our kids?
What does an estate plan actually do?
When you think of an estate plan, think about it's going to pretty much let people know how you want your assets to be handled when you pass, right? So where do you want your car to go? What do you want happen with your kids? So an estate plan is a legal binding document that states what you want your assets to be.
And these are people, there are people that are specialists in this, right? Helping you plan out what to do to, say, avoid unnecessary taxes when you are...
To be clever, or the best,
the best way
to do
leave things for future generations without them having to take on an unnecessary burden.
Absolutely. I would definitely say from there, I always advise people to start looking to an attorney. Looking to someone who specializes in this field so who can sit there and ask you all the hard questions and walk you through the entire process.
So once you've done the estate plan, what's the next step for a legacy, to leave a legacy?
Well, here's the first thing I really want you to think about this is it's not just for the wealthy people, right? This is for the average everyday person as well. You can be a homeowner, a apartment, own a 1987 Honda Accord. The thing is about simply putting a plan together for your assets.
What are some key components when you talk about estate planning?
Yeah.
Okay. What does that consist of?
Such a good question. The two main things, right, is you're going to have a will and you're going to also have a trust. Those are the two main things. Two things, but you got to have both of them. So those are the two main things I focus on in estate. But then also, when I really want to think about this inside your estate plan, is that it also gives permission to, say, a loved one. Let's say if you are, unfortunately, you can't make any decisions, your loved one can make those decisions because you gave them authority inside of your estate plan.
And why is a will so important? How often should we look at it and check on it and update it?
Yeah. A will is very important because it tells you pretty much how you want your stuff done. You should be updating it every single year. As you're evolving, as you're getting more stuff, I want you to update it every year.
Tell us about the trust.
So the trust is how you want to distribute it and when. Say for an example, you have $1 million worth of assets. You can say, you know what, I'm going to leave my son $1 million, but he only can get $100,000 the first part, and then maybe 25% earlier on. So it really outlines exactly what you want done and how you want it done at the time of your passing.
We're going to to take a break and come back and find out the importance of getting life insurance right after this. We are back with financial expert Anthony O'Neill. Tell us about life insurance. Who needs it and when?
So life insurance is if anyone is depending on you. Let's say if you are a 9-to-5 worker or entrepreneur, or let's say you're a stay-at-home mother and you don't have income coming in, but there still is a presence.
Yeah.
So life insurance just replaces your presence and replaces your income. So if you have that, you need life insurance.
And what about the differences, the terms we hear about term life versus whole life versus whatever life?
Yeah, whatever life. I like that. For me, I'm all about term life insurance, and here's why.
What does that mean?
Term life is it's affordable, and you can select the terms. Let's say 10 years, 20 years, or maybe even 30 years.
Right.
And throughout that term that you select, your premium stays the exact same. So if you were to pass during that time, then they'll pay out your beneficiaries during that time.
So it might make more sense to get it early, term life insurance at a locked-in rate that it doesn't change, right?
Absolutely.
And so like the older you get, the more you're going to need it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Term life is definitely a great option. It's the best option in my opinion, but some people may argue with me and say whole life insurance is better.
And what is whole life insurance?
Well, whole life insurance, people like that because it comes with a level of you can invest while you have whole life insurance.
I see.
And for me, I don't want to invest my life insurance. I want to have life insurance for my family, my loved ones when I pass.
Is there an equation to use to set up how much life insurance you should get or have?
You know, there is an equation, but I'll definitely say having life insurance, some form of life insurance, is better than zero. But the goal is always should be have 10 times your annual income. So let's say, for example, you make $50,000. That means you should have $500,000 in the goal of policy. And then from there, let's say if you selected 20 years, for an example, for your term life policy, if you were to pass during that time frame, your beneficiaries will get that $500,000.
It's literally like if you carry an umbrella, it won't rain. If you have life insurance, chances are you won't die tragically and suddenly. Really, don't you think? It really, like, it's right there in the word, life
It's
insurance.
just like, put that in your book.
I'm gonna add that in there for
Yeah,
sure.
please, take it, it's yours.
I'm not good at carrying an umbrella, so I don't know how it's going to work out.
Always carry an umbrella. The second you don't have an umbrella, a downpour.
A downpour.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right,
Especially-
everyone wants their loved ones to be included and involved. How do we organize that? What do we take into account?
Man, it's very simple, and I'll leave it like this in one sentence, that the quality of your family's life after you and the quality of your legacy after you is depending upon the choices that you made today. And we got to make the right choice today and get that umbrella so that way our family knows that we love them.
When it comes to dividing your assets amongst your loved ones,
Yeah.
do you advocate for dividing equally or do you
Play favorites.
play favorites?
You know, here's my thing. My thing is all about the vision. So I have a vision for my money that I live by day, right? But then also I have a vision for what happens after my money. And that's the greatest way I can say that I love my family, my loved ones. So your vision, once you really identify your vision will tell you how to divide them up. It could be between your family, it could be between your loved ones. But even for me, charity and my local church is a part of that vision as well.
Absolutely. Did you prioritize your kids?
That's an off-camera discussion.
It's great to see it.
Good to see
Excellent
you, man.
information. Thank you for
Oh,
coming.
and by the way, Anthony is single and
Andy-
looking to mingle.
Oh.
So just
He's
we're
looking.
going to put that out there, a little
Lord
off-camera.
Jesus.
Just
Thank
feel free to write into our inbox if you feel you are worthy of Anthony's love.
And you can get the tips on our website. And for more information, you can get that there. It's available in his best-selling book called Debt Free Degree.